Oh shit. Babe, do you have the energy to bluff?
Yeah.
If not, I can do it, but... Oh, babe, also, if we do a Christmas... Oh, we're live. Hello, Deep Mindfulness Collective. This right here, right now, is the joy of being a live stream coming to you live from Brooklyn, New York. And folks, very happy to have you here. I want you to introduce you to myself and to a tradition and to a doggy. I want to introduce you to a doggy. Hello. Hello. Say something, Sela. Tell us the goddamn secret. Oh, I'm going to shake you till you tell us the secret. What's it like to be a dog? Okay, come over here. Trying to set up the dog cam, advanced dog cam, hopefully. Folks, I want to introduce you to myself. My name is Janusz. I'm very happy to be here. Hello, Denny from Harlem. Okay, tradition here on the stream. We've been doing this recently. There's statistical research that shows if you list things you're grateful for, your baseline level of happiness increases. So, tell me where you're at. One detail about your current environment, very important for mindfulness, and one piece of something you're grateful for. Something you are grateful for. Denny says, coming from Harlem, I'm grateful for my body and how it takes care of me. Pretty cool, right? Body's pretty cool. I don't know if you guys ever saw Wonder Shows and Mr. Body. It's worth checking out. It's intense though. It's not for kids. Okay, morning from Brooklyn. Grateful for the rain and that feels fresh and not gloomy. You know, I feel like you have to cultivate a relationship with the gray day, because otherwise they're just bummers. When I remember I was a kid in Rhode Island and I was in a doctor's office, and the doctor was like, "Oh, let's let in some of that gray New England light," and it was like, you know, very soft light, and I was like, "Oh my God, this is like a very specific color, shade, whatever." So I try to really emphasize that, like, oh, this like very soft, gentle sort of look to gray days versus, oh, it's glum, it's not bright. I like the grayness. There's something very sweet about it. I have to remind myself of that, otherwise I feel like I'm caught in a little bit of a glum loop around the rainy day. But yes, it is lovely outside. Hello, DMC and Doggy. Coming to you live from Karlstad, Sweden, preparing for some exams. Grateful for running water. I feel you. Running water. What a great detail. Greetings from Kingston, Ontario. Grateful for contrast of gray day. The contrast a gray day provides. It's low contrast, actually. But yes, that is true. I forgot to mention what I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for, this is the first thing that's popping into mind, plant medicine. That's the thing that's popping into mind today. I don't usually talk about this, at least not so openly, because I always feel like it's misconstrued, misunderstood. But maybe I don't want to talk about it. Okay, anyway, here's the point. Julie is saying, Julie turning in from Vienna, Austria. I'm grateful for the beauty of fall. Yes, lovely as always. Julia, why am I saying this wrong? Julia, you also have shag and tortoise. Schlag and tortoise. I'm not sure what that means. Nate says, hello from West Virginia. I am working existentially stressed about my kids in virtual school and grateful for running. Excellent. I actually have thought about running and started to try a few times, but it always is hard on the old knees. Nick, they actually started clinical trials. Oh yeah, clinical trials with psilocybin therapy over here as well. That's great. And actually, who is it who's, which, oh yeah, it was like all of Canada started clinical trials, which I was very happy about. I was afraid that they were just going to legalize recreational psychedelic use, and I'm much more an advocate of the psychological side of that. That is very good. Let's see here. Hello from British Columbia. Grateful for my sweet kitty. Nick says this is I got Sweden. I don't know why I'm backwards. Most backwards country in the world regarding plant medicine. So maybe there's hope. Schlag is whipped cream. Ah, there you go. I love Viennese sweets. Who doesn't? I don't know what they are, but I just love them anyway. Brian says, good morning from New Orleans. I'm grateful for having a car repair so close to my house. Yeah, isn't that great? We have a place that's like, if I had a strong bow and arrow, I could just hit it. Julia says, oh, I get it. There's an apostrophe. Julia's Twitch account. Plant medicine is good too. Makes me nauseous though. It is true. It can be a little tummy upsetting. So The key is to control food, not eat extensively beforehand, have a zero empty stomach for a long time, for at least 8 hours or more. Okay, it's so nice seeing everyone here. Grateful for that. Me too. Very grateful. Okay, let me pop in here. I was just talking with a friend, or we were messaging. Okay, I'm going to call in. Okay, so folks, we're going to call into our friend here, Johnny. We were just chatting before, and so we're going to chat. Let's see how this unfolds. I'm gonna call in now. Calling my friend Johnny. Let me check. Tell me in the chat if you can hear this. Important to know. Trying to call, ringing up. He says anytime. Okay, so he's not answering.
Hello, sorry about that. Can you hear me?
I hear you now. Let me see if it's coming in on stream. Okay, go ahead. Say something.
Hello.
Perfect. Let me turn that down a little bit. Go hit it again.
Hello.
There we go. So folks, let me know if, oh yeah, Johnny, be quiet. So I think you can hear. Great, you can hear. Excellent. How's it going, buddy?
Pretty good, thanks. How are you, my friend?
Chilling. How's your how many days, because you're doing 2 weeks straight nonstop streaming, right?
I am. I'm on day 7 right now.
So
day 7.
You're mostly to the halfway mark.
Yeah.
Midnight's the halfway mark.
And I know I've framed it as a mindfulness experiment, but it's kind of like a big brother thing. Like I can't do anything. I can't overeat. I can't sneak out and smoke cigarettes. I'm not drinking every night because there's an eye in the sky. So it's something interesting. I'd like to know your take on it.
Well, here's my take. My take is that most of our experience, or like we experience a lot of the world through unconsciousness. And most of our bad habits are definitely in the realm of unconsciousness. So there's consciousness, which is the path of mindfulness and awakening, and most of us just aren't trained to care and pay attention to be conscious. So it's not complex, it's not hard. We do it for an instant and then think we're done. So we can be conscious of our current environment, great. But most of our habits and our difficulties and the things we do that usually we don't like, actually a lot of our lives either way, are in the realm of unconsciousness. And all we need to do to break those habits, to break those things, is just bring them into consciousness. So often like therapy or 12-step or whatever, 12-step's a good example because people are just these are non-experts talking about what's going on internally and just being like, yeah, I want to drink. And then suddenly they don't. Right? It's like, how is that possible? These people who are often like helpless alcoholics, they just talk about it and suddenly they don't have to. So what's happened with this scenario is you've brought yourself into this like state of heightened consciousness because our view of the world is very small often, and it can get smaller and smaller. But when we view from the view of somebody else, it broadens the mind. This is why helping another person is often very transformational. So does that make sense?
Is that why like I'm good at giving advice to other people, but following it can be like I'm not as, I feel almost like when I'm giving advice to somebody, I feel like I'm a hypocrite because sometimes I can't really follow it as much as I should, you know?
No, I think that's just because you're a big jerk. I'm just kidding.
That's probably true.
No, actually, here's what I think. From a totally cynical place, you could just say you're lying, which I don't think is true, right? You could just be like, I'm just making it up. I'm pretending to be someone who has some sense of direction, but I don't. But I don't think that's true. That would be like, and I think some people could do that, like sociopathic people who are just pretending that they can help people, and on the other side, they're evil. You know, you see these like sort of cult leader kind of things. I'm not suggesting that. I think that's the opposite of the truth. That's the worst possible case.
I could very well go down that path, and I'm trying to be aware of that.
Exactly. So that desire to be aware of it and to not contradict yourself and to say, hey, and saying it out loud, like, hey, I don't want to contradict myself, indicates some degree of moral fortitude, right? And some degree of saying, hey, actually, I see a disparity here. But what I think is happening is that when humans have interactions with each other, they're I'm trying to use words that like won't like trigger anybody, but like one word would be like Buddha nature, or, in psychology, sometimes they'll call it, in internal family systems, they call it self-energy, but it's the part of us that is like the kind of uber parent, the part of us that can handle things, that is loving and kind and compassionate, not the part that's like scared and hates everyone and judges. It's like the part that is just can be in the world and love and have compassion, etc. When two people talk together, that part of them expands. So like now, you could say self-energy or true self, right? The true self part of me expands because I'm interacting with the true self of you. So when you're talking to someone, often having the perspective of their lives gives you a little bit more space within your mind. And then you might notice that sometimes you stop giving advice for a second and it can collapse down back into like, oh, what do I do? Like, I want to do this exercise, but I can't, these kind of things. So in a way, it's like the true self kind of compounds when you interact with folks. I don't know if that makes sense.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, so I've been reading about, I haven't started this, but cognitive behavioral therapy, and I'm signed up for it. And apparently, like, it's the group stuff really, really works, because then you stop focusing on yourself for a bit, and you're focusing on the other people, and then you kind of see behaviors and patterns, and So damn, you make me feel much better about this. I thought I was just being like an authoritarian, like watch me and make sure I do all right.
No, I mean, I think that the fact that you're being forced to think at a larger scale, and because of that, it could be actually daunting. It could be like afflictive, like, oh God, like there's something's wrong with me. I'm always in that reinforcing that loop. But it could just be, I'm a human and I'm interacting with people, and there's just a degree of consciousness that's there because of the constant camera action.
Damn.
Yeah. It can be. It could also be both. It can be. We want to cultivate the parts that are positive, that go in the direction we want to go. Because you could cultivate either one of those and be like, it could be very hard on you. Like for me, I want to make sure that you're taking care of yourself. That you're not like, I have to be a certain somebody. You're like, okay, I'm just going to take care of myself and live my life. And maybe you don't want to exercise. Maybe or whatever it is. Like to not just be hard on yourself. That's for me is the biggest key in your 2-week-long stream.
Well, that's definitely it, because I do feel like a need to entertain a lot of times, especially this weekend. I just went like nuts, just trying to be, wild on stream.
Yeah.
Where I'm kind of hoping this week I'll get back to last week, where like I've been going to bed early. Like people are like, come on, do something, dance monkey, and I've been very good at like holding off. But it's like my insides want to tap dance,
I think that that's valid, especially given the format. Like this is, like I've got lots of little bells and whistles going on in my stream, and I think it's helpful to know that by having a clear boundary, meeting your own needs, you're teaching something else. You're saying, actually, like guys, the entertainment here is like, I'm going to go to bed when I want to go to bed, which is a hard thing for a lot of people to do. Like there's lots of ways that you can give value other than like,
Exactly.
Yeah.
I did this before.
The long stream?
The cage. I did it with a cage.
In a cage?
I've done it twice in the cage. The first time was very successful. I did 30 days. I did not leave the cage, and it was my take on self-improvement, and that was pretty good. But I streamed. You couldn't sleep at night then. You weren't allowed to sleep on stream. So I streamed 8 a.m. to midnight every day, and I didn't know how to use the computer. So the camera was just on me in a cage, and it was a lot of fun. But and I did lose a lot of weight, but and I quit smoking weed for a bit. But it was awesome. But then I did it again last year in October, and this time I did 24 hours a day, and I let people wake me up at night for money, because this is such a parable. It's a parable. Like I took the beauty of the first cage. It was art. It was actually art. That's what my Zen meditation teacher said. Then I profited it. I coveted thy neighbor's gold. Well, and I let people wake me up. I only lasted 17 days before my wife left me on stream. It was so brutal on stream.
Oh, man, I'm sorry to hear that.
These things happen. She doesn't. It seems like it's like a yearly thing for her. But I got 3 hours a night. Asleep a night.
That's not going to work. That's like, yeah. So what I would say is less like you turned it in and like turned it into profit than you valued the income more than you valued self-care. And because of that imbalance, it threw you way off. And, you know, like to me, it's like, it's important to show people balance. That's very, very important. And to live balance. Otherwise, like there's, you know, like life requires us to have a variety of values and to meet those values meet and balance those values. Otherwise, we have one that's like crazy out of proportion, and someone will be very successful in their career and very unkind to their kids, or, you know, whatever. We have to figure out what's important to us and meet all those values. So wait, before we go any further, this is a meditation, you know, stream and community. So I want to make sure we meditate. Anything in particular that you want to practice around, or anything that's going on for you or your community that you want to, you know, you're in a pretty special position right now with this 2-week super stretch. So what would be helpful?
You know what's killing me?
What's that?
At night, the inner voice. Last night was good, but the every night I've gone to bed and then I finally am not talking to the stream, and I have a moment to think about myself, and I just start thinking. I think about like my, you know, past relationship, everything I've ever done wrong, and I'm having like, so if there's any way to help train that evil little voice. Oh, and by the way, your meditation on Friday was incredible.
Oh, great. Thank you so much. Great. Well, let's do something specifically for that. Now, there's a lot of ways to work with that. We're going to do one in particular, but I also want to mention, like, this is step one, or step, you know, this is probably a little more advanced than most meditation, or like, you know, breath or something like that, but a breath meditation could work as well. We're just going to, in a way, it's like, so I'll just explain for anyone who's listening or watching. So, and I can't, is your stream, can they see me? Because I'm trying to figure out if hand gestures matter to your stream, or if they can just hear me.
They can see you on a monitor. It's a little off. I can't get it because we're on Discord.
Don't sweat it.
You look great. Yeah.
Don't sweat it. Okay, so basically we have this pie of perception, and this pie, this metaphorical pie, holds everything we can detect in this particular moment. So in every moment it changes, but there's still this pie of perception. If we take a meditation and we say, like, watch the breath, we're going to take a tiny slice out of that pie. And it's very simple, very easy to attend to. Where's the breath? Well, put your hand on your belly. You can tell you're breathing. But the problem is that means that the rest of the pie, everything else is a distraction, right? So the smaller and simpler the piece, the more everything else is a distraction. If you're watching everything, then nothing's a distraction, but it's a lot to take in, so you can get distracted a little more easily. So this is the trade-off you have to make with various meditations. So you could use any meditation to quiet that voice, because you're just going to keep ignoring the voice and attending to the breath or listening to sound or whatever. But today we're going to use a meditation that will go at the voice. So we can actually use the voice as an object of meditation. Okay? I know that sounds crazy, but if it's happening in our perception, we can use that experience as the object of meditation. So what happens is you'll hear the voice, it'll start talking, and then it'll go down a chain of narrative. Well, what about this? And why didn't you blah, blah, blah? And it'll have this sort of story, you know, berating you. Why didn't you do this? Wondering about the past, wondering about the future. Are you, you know, weighing and measuring? Are you good enough? Like all these things. Does that sound about right to you?
Oh, that's spot on, my friend.
Okay, great. So what we're going to do, have you ever had the thing where you're talking to someone and there's an echo and you can hear your voice a second later?
Yeah.
And my experience, tell me if this is your experience, it's very hard to talk if it's, you know, if you're hearing this repeat of your own voice a second later. Is that about right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to create that within ourselves. We're going to create that kind of loop to stop the narrative of the mind, not because it needs to stop, but because if you just observe the present moment, narrative can't exist. It just has no power to keep existing. You're cutting the story and saying, let's pay attention to the syllable, and the story just sort of collapses. So that's that's the general idea behind what we're doing, but you don't have to remember anything. I'm going to guide through all of it. Okay?
Okay, can I sit on a pillow?
You can do whatever you want. You can stand, you can climb up a wall.
Seconds, though. I've been drinking so much water. I'm just going to run to the washroom, or, you know, when you meditate, you got to go. I'll be 1 second. Hold tight, please.
Okay,
Thank you.
So folks who are listening to me now on Johnny's side, all right, here's the thing. I wish we could pull a prank. I'm not sure what prank we would pull. Something we could say something in his chat that would be really good. If folks on my end have ideas about what we could do to prank Johnny by the time he gets back, just tell him meditation's over. Just tell him the meditation's over. Just everybody just like spam him with the fact that meditation's over. Okay. So folks who are here and would like to meditate. So what we're going to do is we're going to practice in complete stillness, not moving the body. And there's some caveats here. You want to arrange the body well. So you want to sit in a position that you can maintain, typically not with a lower back arched. A lot of chairs will force you to do that. It's not very comfortable after a little while. So what I recommend is sitting at the edge of a cushion. So if you're facing this way, sit at the edge of the cushion. And so your hips rock down just a tiny bit. That allows your lower back to balance and your upper back to balance on that. Thanks. Push the sky away. Nice. Thank you for the follow.
Be careful with her.
Oh, okay.
No, just kidding. She's amazing.
Okay, so let's see here. So that's how to arrange the body well. We're going to be in complete stillness except for 2 exceptions. So we will be in entire stillness, no movement, including itches or adjusting, none, except for two exceptions. One, if you feel overwhelmed, like even creeping up a tiny bit, go ahead and make any adjustment you need to, small adjustments. If you need to open the eyes and let them settle on a single point, fine. If you need to just stop meditating, fine. Because we don't want overwhelm to jump, because it usually goes like 1, 2, 3, and then 11. So catch it early. That's okay to make an adjustment. The other reason is if it's just so distracting, you can't stop yourself from moving. Just do it really slowly. Don't go unconscious and like itch something and move really quickly. Just whatever it is, it's very slowly, very conscious. So when you're ready, finding a nice, comfortable position. And Johnny, if you'll mute just in case, you cough or whatever, so it won't come through on our side. Okay, we're going to practice for 25 minutes, and trust me, it sounds like it's going to be impossible. It is fully doable. And I'll probably have to cough during. Excuse me. And we will begin. Beginning by taking a few comfortable deep breaths and just feeling the body rise and fall. So when we arrive at a meditation, we arrive with a lot of expectations, a sense of how it's supposed to go, how we're supposed to be. The mind is supposed to be quiet or peaceful. These are all natural assumptions, but they're not necessarily true. So I can tell you precisely how this next bit of time will be. It's going to be exactly how it is. And we have the choice of either fighting with that or simply accepting that what we're experiencing is nature. So feeling the body breathing in and out, noticing the rising and falling of the torso as this happens. Each time the body breathes in, the shoulders lift. The belly and chest expand. The breath falls away. The shoulders fall. The ribcage falls. And so we begin a meditation simply by settling the mind, not by trying to force it, but just attending to these sensations. Our mind is going to have lots of activity. This is natural. So as much as we can, we simply bring it back to the sensations of the body breathing. In this moment, we're playing a very simple game. What are the sensations of a breathing body? And when we get pulled to something other than that, other than those sensations, recognizing that's normal, and then coming back to those sensations. The challenge of the game is its utter simplicity. And to give our game a little more specificity, every time we notice this precise breath sensation in this precise moment, in the mind, we can simply say the word this. So in the mind, it might sound something like this, this, this. Each time we detect breath sensations in this particular moment, titling it this in the mind. And remembering that the definition of this is very specific. We can't just say the word a bunch of times, because each moment it's a different definition, because it's this breath sensation in this moment. So being honest about the definition. We're not referring to something random, we're referring precisely to this. And to make our game even easier, anytime we detect anything that is not this, in the mind we can simply label it not this. Any sound or other body sensation, any thought. It's not a problem. It's very simply not this. remembering that the definition of not this is also very specific. It can lead us right back to the breath, because it's precisely not what? It's not this. In this way, breath sensations and non-breath sensations can lead us right back to the breath. Our world has been simplified. And so enjoying the simplicity of this experience. Simply discovering this. Now we're going to make a slight change, bringing your attention to the place that you hear mental audio. So this is where you've been saying this phrase, this or not this. So in the mind, you can simply say a word a few times. You can say hello, 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 just to listen to what it sounds like to listen to the mind. Hello, hello, noticing that we tend to hear mental audio as though it were in the head, somewhere between the ears. So for a few moments, let's listen to that word. We can say hello in the mind, and we can whisper, see how quietly we can say the word and still hear it. We can increase the volume, noticing that as the mind gets louder, often this brings tension to the body. Doesn't even matter if the content is disturbing, just a loud sound in the mind can cause us to tense up. So now we're going to stop saying anything in the mind, in particular, but we're going to hang out in the same space. And each time we detect the mind speaking or murmuring or playing a song, any mental audio activity, in the mind we're going to label this. We can call it here. So if we hear something happening in the mind spontaneously, we'll label it here. If we don't hear anything in the mind, we can label that quiet. Neither one is better. A quiet mind is not superior. It is simply quiet. So just like our previous game, there's always something to notice, either the mind talking or not. There's no way to lose. Of course, the labels themselves are mental audio. So we don't label the label. This would cause a kind of echo chamber. If we hear quiet, we label it quiet. If we hear sound in the mind, we label it here. So in the mind, it might sound something like quiet, here, 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 quiet. You get the idea. Of course, we're not trying to make anything happen. We're not trying to get the mind to be quiet or to talk. We're simply observing nature. And of course, at times the mind will become distracted. This too is natural. Once we detect if we've become distracted in that moment, we simply check in. Did the distraction include mental audio? If we're unsure, we just return back to the meditation. If it did include audio, we say here. If there was no audio, we simply say quiet, returning back to the practice. Soaking into and learning to enjoy this very simple game. distractions aren't a problem. If some distraction arises, something annoying or something we like or don't like, we just check in. Did this cause any mental audio? Does my mind comment or grumble or tough mutter? A response? If so, in the mind we say, here. If not, in the mind we say, quiet. Remember that the mind is not supposed to be quiet. It's not supposed to talk, but it will do both. Neither is good or bad. Teaching the mind that this simple game is worthwhile. By simply being interested. Of course, we can guess, we can get the label wrong, we can be late. It's the inquiry that's the important part. And now we're going to make one more slight shift. We're actually going to activate this part of the mind, the part that speaks. And we're going to have it say a phrase. And the phrase that we're going to have the mind say on repeat is, "May you be peaceful. May you be peaceful. May you be peaceful." Just getting used to saying that on repeat. And for a few times saying it to ourselves, may you be peaceful. We're not saying you must be peaceful or you should be peaceful. It's simply a kind wish. May you be peaceful. And now directing this phrase outward to include everyone who can hear my voice. May you be peaceful. May you be peaceful. And of course, some parts of us may not feel peaceful, some parts of us might not like these words, but we're attending to the part that can genuinely wish peace. May you be peaceful. May you be peaceful. And recognizing in this moment that many people right now are wishing you peace. So we can listen to the voice and take it in, allowing it to be the voice of the chorus, wishing us peace. May you be peaceful. May you be peaceful. Listening to the voice, listening to the wish, feeling that. Not necessarily feeling peace, but feeling the reception of the wish. And this next part is perhaps the most important. We're going to maintain stillness in the body, not moving until the bell goes silent, which will be in a little bit. So staying with the practice, staying in stillness, allowing a tiny bit of light to enter the eyes, eventually allowing the eyes to rest on a single point, ideally that is not text or a screen, and allowing the eyes to fully open. Continuing our phrase, may you be peaceful. May you be peaceful, receiving, transmitting. Noticing that this wish can be used in any direction, to ourselves, to others, as something we receive. It's indiscriminate, this wish for peace. And the reason this moment is so important is that we can imagine meditation is something we simply do with the eyes closed for a moment of our day. But here, as we continue to practice with our eyes open, as they are much of our day, we see that these two worlds can mix. The momentum of our meditation can be fully integrated into our lives. So in this way, letting this particular moment be the great teacher that shows us how we might bring this into every aspect of our life. Okay, so folks who are participating here, this is very important, especially if you're watching on Johnny's stream. I can't really see your chats on Johnny's stream, so it's a little tough. Okay, so this is what I'm going to tell you if you're here on my stream. a very important part of this is exporting what happened internally. This is a big part of really internalizing the experience, is to use your digital technology, type out what happened, or you can jump on the Zoom if you want to chit chat, the same way I'm here with Johnny. But tell us what the experience was like. This is very central to internalizing it. My experience was pretty much what I described to you. So that was my experience. So the point is, what happened? What was it like? What do you like now? Okay, so since we're having our fun interview time with Johnny, if you're still there, if you want to unmute, you can. If not, totally understand. If you want to just chill out in the spaciness. Nice. Nice. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Hold on, Johnny, just 1 second here. Oh, sorry. Okay, guys, sorry about that. No one could hear what you were saying. That was my fault.
Oh, no worries.
Okay, so you were saying that it's a training. It's not just it's like a thing you're supposed to be able to do.
Yeah, I appreciated the hard times in the mind when I was getting distracted, because then I felt like I actually accomplished something when I could just focus on my breath, and it's so freeing.
Yeah. Yeah, and so a big thing for me, and this is something I kind of had a medium-sized revelation during this guided meditation, which I can share, but the whole point of gamifying the process is because this idea that you can't do anything wrong, you can't make a mistake. So if you set up the parameters well enough and make it into a game, because until it's a game, it's like it's like a weight you have to just carry. So you notice with the first section, we did this and not this. As I was building up to that, it was like, well, okay, I'll notice the breath, whatever, but there's all this distraction. It's a pain in the ass. Then once we finally turned it, we developed to the point where you could say, okay, there's this, and then there is not this. It's not a problem now, and the whole world gets broken down into this game. Even distraction is just pointing you back to what? It's not this, and it points you right back. So we arrange the world by making rules to move us in the direction we want to go. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, oops, I just pulled my headphones out, so I can't hear myself. That's fine. You can hear me. So the point is that, so the meditation becomes, at least from my experience, much easier when we don't have to, there's no fight anymore. Where does this thing go? 1 sec. I can't hear a thing. There we go. There's no fight anymore. We are just, there's this and not this. The whole game is just very simplified. When we moved over to the mind, and the audio in the mind, that's just one part of the mind. There's also the visual part, but the audio part of the mind, we made the game very simple. It could be talking or not a problem. But we want to make sure that we have a full game set, a full like playing board, board game, playing board. I don't know what you call that thing, so that even distraction is not a problem. It just leads you right back to the process. So I don't know. What was your experience with that?
You said it exactly right. Gamified it.
Mm-hmm.
Like you made it a game, and then my inner competitiveness was like, oh, I can beat this. I can actually learn to do this. I'm telling you speak to the normies. I know I'm such a normie. I'm such a bro that when you gamified it, it became something that I wanted to win at, and then winning just is benefiting your own life. I'm saying when I could get the mental noise to stop,
Mm-hmm.
it felt like I just won a championship.
And just so you know, I just want to emphasize this, though. This is really important, is because there are these ideas about meditation that, so it's important. I said this many times. I just want to reemphasize. You can have that level of freedom and that level of relief, even if the voice is still going. So that's the key, is if we just notice that it is occurring and label it, in a sense, it's the story that actually brings the pain and suffering. It's like, why aren't you blah, blah, blah? Why don't you always, the first time I ever heard my mind, it was like doing its thing. It's like, blah, 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 tough muttering. And then it said this one sentence, which I was like shocked by. It's like, you should have went to college. And I was like, wait a minute. I did go to college. It's like, what are you talking about? And I suddenly realized my mind is not me. It is just a thing that sometimes I can kind of control, but it's just like a hamster wheel. So it can talk and chatter and blah, 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 and you can have the same relief versus this idea that it has to be quiet or the goal is for it to be quiet. The goal is actually just to observe nature, and when we allow nature to exist, the resistance goes away, and so the pain goes away.
You are not the voice in your head. You're the one who listens to it.
You're not, unfortunately, I wish I could give a simple answer like that, but that is not the case. You're not the one who listens to it. And this is where we get into some Buddhist, meditation technology around non-self. So it's
next level of
next level.
Yeah.
So
actually, someone said something in your comments here in your chat, which I found it very profound when you said the challenge of the game is its utter simplicity.
Yeah. And it's also like, it's very, it makes sense. It's Western to be like, I like playing VR, I play Half-Life Alyx, and like I've played it like a million times, and it's so rich. It has so much detail and nuance and whatever. And so to play a game that is like yes and no, or on and off, or A and B, is like, it's like staggeringly challenging. It reminds me, it reminds me a little bit of like, what's that stupid game, Among Us or something, where it's like, it's such a dumb game. It's so simple, but it becomes so rich if you, dive into it in that way. Absolutely. Yeah. So here, Johnny, I want to make sure, because I usually listen to people's comments here. You can either, if you want to stay on and chit chat, fine. If you want to come back or whatever, but I want to make sure that I want to hear people's meditation reports.
You know what? I'll thank you so much for letting me on. I'll disconnect, and I'd love to do this again.
Great.
That was amazing,
and P.S. It was helpful for me because I've been accused accurately of like people saying, "Is this a beginner's meditation or an advanced meditation?" I'm like, well, that's a good question. So it's helpful actually to know exactly where someone is. This is why I always recommend people get on the Zoom, because I will build something specifically for you, because it's so much more helpful to know a specific person's mind.
I did feel like you were zoomed in right onto my. My level, so thank you.
And it's also, and that makes it more universal. That's a universal experience. So, can I share one more story before you go?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So my background is in art making. So I went to art school, and I made like conceptual art and all this like weird high concept stuff. Oh, we have a nice follow here from. Oh wait, I can't see who it is. Who is this? Dippy Pickles. Welcome, Dippy Pickles. I love the name very much. Okay, so I went to school, and so part of what you would do when you're making an artwork is you want to have an effect on people. You want to change their lives. You want to change the way they relate to the world. So you're thinking about what is their experience, and you're imagining this viewer in your mind. Okay, they're going to enter the room here. The first thing they see is this yellow thing, and then they turn the corner, and I'm talking about sculptures and stuff and installation. So you're thinking about the viewer endlessly, thinking about the viewer. What's their background? What's their education? Will they understand this? Like really trying to think. And trying to show them something. What I found in starting to teach meditation is it's so powerful because you don't have to guess or wonder. You just ask. You say, what happened in your mind? And you can lead people so far so quickly because you don't have you don't have to figure out what does red mean to this person. So anyway, I just wanted to share that. This is part of why I really love working directly with the people.
No, I loved it. That was awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Awesome,
My chat, go follow him right now. Thank you, man. Call anytime.
Awesome, man. Let's talk soon.
Can't wait for Friday. Talk to you later.
Peace, man. All right. Well, hopefully that was fun. That little action, and I appreciate folks coming over from that stream. Great as always. Super fun. Super fun. Okay. Let's see here. Beep up. Going back. Let's read some comments. Okay, we have Denny going all the way back to 10 minutes ago or 6 minutes ago.
when examining mental audio, I felt that at a certain point I could tell that there was the potential for mental audio, but I couldn't discern it.
Great.
Also, like I felt the potential of mental audio to occur.
Great. Okay, excellent, excellent. Okay, great. Oh, we have another follow here from our new friend, Shanks to you. Well, listen, Shanks to you. Shanks for the follow. Much appreciated. Welcome to the stream. And P.S., we have a lot of new people on the stream. If you're new here to the stream, we want to welcome you in our very special way. So, folks, let's hit it. Let's hit these people with our very special, friendly welcome. Hopefully you know what to do. Hopefully we've rehearsed this enough times. Very appreciated, folks. As always, thank you for being here, for existing, for looking at reality. It's one of my favorite things in the world. So very appreciated, as always. Okay, so let's go back to some comments here. We got wait all the way back here. No, these are new. These are old. Where's Denny's comment? Was beep up beep up. Here we go. Thank you, folks. Really welcome. Really great to have you here. Okay, so Denny says, I love this detail. And so this is a success in sensory clarity. This is great. So when I talk about clear reports, this is what I mean. This is great. When examining audio, I could tell that there was a point where there was a sort of potential for audio, but it wasn't there. What you're detecting right there is the threshold of consciousness, where it feels almost like there's a pressure, like audio is about to occur, but it hasn't crossed the threshold of consciousness yet. You can't even hear it. So what you're detecting there, I know this sounds weird, you can hear the audio below the level of hearing. You can detect it below the level of detecting. It is becoming, it is entering into the realm of consciousness. That floor, that point, that tension, so much of transformational material is held in that tension. It is the point of creation, is the point of existence, the point of, the primordial, existential, perceptual magic or something like that. It's very powerful. So yeah, check that area out, noticing before something happens. Great detection skills there. Okay, Julia's says,
it was much easier for me to remain still than it usually is. I did not prevent my mouth from occasionally forming a smile, though.
Excellent. Yeah. Occasional smile is not going to hurt anybody. Lovely. Okay. Push the Sky Away says this, and P.S. Push the Sky Away here is new to the stream, so we're going to find out Push the Sky Away's voice.
I have a ridiculously strong imagination, mind's eye, and I keep going back to memories or places, which is fine, but really intense cause it's like him in the memory physically.
Okay, great. It's not like it's not a sentence, it's visual. Okay, so great. That's actually really, really, really good clarity. So this is what I want to point to. And first of all, also P.S., if anyone notices, Push the Sky Away has put an asterisk before the thing that they wrote. And I want to remind people that if you put an asterisk before what you wrote, it doesn't show up on the screen. So I should probably tell people that. But if you ever want to chat and not have it show up on the screen, really, there's just a few people watching. So, but whatever, it's up to you. And that's a great way to do it. That's the only way to do it. So this is such good clarity. Push, I just want to commend you for two things. One, sticking with the meditation when it was challenging, but two, reporting what you reported with clarity. So I talked about this, hopefully you're here for this part, I think you were, for the pie of perception, and the idea that this pie contains everything, and each time we slice a little meditation out of it, a little breath or a little mental audio, the rest of it becomes distraction. And what it seems like is the rest of that's a problem, but it's not a problem. It's just tomorrow's meditation. And in this case, it will literally be Friday's meditation, or Wednesday's meditation, rather. I think we're going to do maybe exactly what you're describing on Wednesday. So the mind is made of two big components. You heard me mention this to Johnny. The two big components. One component, mental audio, blah, 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 that kind of thing. The other component of the mind is mental visual. So mental visual activation is everything you described. So memory, planning, fantasy, all this stuff. The key is, in today's meditation, we're just ignoring that. You could call it not this, or you could call it whatever, but you're going back to the mental audio because that's today's meditation. Tomorrow's meditation, or whenever you want, you can do it right now if you want. In fact, maybe that's even a better idea. Right now, notice that the mind can still produce imagery now as you're as you're, interacting here with the computer. So it's your sense of space, right? Your mind is like mapping like where things are around you. You could probably close your eyes and reach your mouse and close your eyes and touch your nose. Like it shows you a map of space, but it also shows you specific images and gives you a sense of, this detail, what your mind is doing because it's so cultivated in this particular direction. It will show you a lot of detail and give you a strong sort of emotional and spatial sense of where you are in these places. That's great. It's not good. It's not bad. The great part is clarity around what is occurring. Okay, this is occurring. It's mental imagery. There it is. It's sort of something popped up here. It's like this. It's sort of swirling. What the imagery is doesn't matter as much as the fact that you can tell that it is mental imagery. You can tell maybe where it's located, which is another mental image factor, the location of things. The mind is locating things. That is the key. And so today we use the labels here and quiet for talking in the mind and silence in the mind. You could use the words see and blank or see and rest for active see activity and less or no see activity. So that's awesome. Great clarity there. And you could even combine the two. You could, when you hear a sound, you could say hear. When you see visual, you could say see. So this is where it starts to get really fun. You start to add game pieces, and it starts to get very like layered and complex. And eventually, you're just using the entire pie as your meditation. And so you cannot be distracted. There is no distraction. Oh, okay. Something happened here. What occurred? Oh, Johnny Now just subscribed. What a sweetheart. That's so sweet. Thank you so much, Johnny Now. That was very kind of you to subscribe to the channel. Oh, Denny. Oh, okay. So wait, hold on here. Denny, Black Skulls Merton, is gifting a tier 1 sub to Deep Mindfulness Community. They've gifted it a total of 5 in the channel. Man, that's so sweet. That's so sweet. Thank you so much, Denny. I really appreciate that. Black Skulls Martin gifted at shared 5. Okay, it's saying the same thing, I think. You gifted a subscription to Johnny Now. That's so sweet. I'm gonna message Johnny Now, and because I think he's off the stream now, he might not see that message. Let's see. I want to make sure he knows it's you. It's very sweet. I'm gonna let him know that you did that, because if he's not here. Oops, it just copied a bunch of asterisks. It didn't copy your name. Okay, I let Johnny know. I said it's very sweet, so thank you so much for that. Okay, let's get back to some comments here. Comments and questions. Okay, Julia says, my internet audio is pretty much the same it usually is, which certainly recurring trains of thought. Internal, I think you said internet. My internal audio. Okay, great. Yeah, and so just to notice that that's occurring, just labeling is power. You gain so much power from just noticing it's happening, using a mental label, and its momentum can't take you over. Okay, so Operavine, welcome to the channel. Thank you for being here. Operavine says,
making a game out of things really, really helps me. Especially with things we struggle with, like cleaning, cooking, taking care of yourself, etc.
Yeah, that's great. And I've been doing that with habits recently. We've formed this little habit group, and we're like putting down, okay, here's our habits, and like keeping it really simple and like marking them on this like colored sheet. It's quite beautiful. I wish I could, it's over there. I don't know if anyone's really interested in seeing my habit tracking sheet. I found it. It's a circle, and it's you can search just like circle habit tracking sheet. Oh, we have a subscription. Airplane John just subscribed. Thanks, John. Very kind of you. Oh my God, Johnny Now gifted a sub to Airplane John. That's so sweet. Listen, I want to just give a little, I think we got like a karma train going here. That's very sweet of folks. There's something at a Baskin Robbins recently where everyone paid for the person behind them, and it like lasted for like 900 people. So it's very sweet of folks to get other people's subs, because it means they can watch this stream without commercials, and it supports us. It's very sweet. So Johnny, just want to let you know, beep up, is that John is recovering from COVID. Is really like there's a lot there. We got a cheer from ACR Plantation. I can't anyway. ACR Plant. my dyslexia is just crushing me here. Okay, I've never had this happen before. It's called a hype train. I feel like a total noob. Rory, just subscribed. That's so. Oh wait. Oh my God. Nick gifted a subscription to Rory. That's so sweet. You guys are so sweet. Oh my God. I'm gonna cry. Raquel, can you hear what's happening?
It's so sweet.
It's so sweet. People are being kind to each other. That's such a sweet thing. So okay. This is okay. Somebody started, I think, what's called the hype train. And what that means? Oh my God. This is so sweet. Acroplantium cheered 300. So the premise is that you have 4 minutes to get to another level, and if you fail that 4 minutes of cheering, then it the hype train ends. So you're trying to keep it going, and people can participate or not. I don't want to create any pressure, but I just think it's super sweet. I really appreciate you guys. It's such a good feeling. Oh my God, it's such a sweet feeling. It's funny. I haven't I don't know why I feel so moved that people are being kind to each other and being kind to me. I think it's harder for me to take people being kind to me. Oh my God, I can't even follow all this. This is happening so fast. Denny gifted a tier 1 subscription. Oh my God, Denny's so sweet. To push the sky away. That's very sweet, you guys. I'm gonna cry. It's so much easier for me to see people be kind to each other than it is for people to be like, here's a gift or here's a thing. It really is sweet. So thank you guys. It's very sweet. Okay, I'm trying to read. I'm trying to read comments here. Read comments. Okay. Making a game out of things really does help. Like I said, I'm doing that with habits recently, so that's been really, really helpful and powerful. Okay. Okay. I really appreciate you guys. Let's see here. Okay, we're gonna go now read from what Jean said here. This is so sweet. This is our first hype train. It's so funny it's called the hype train because I feel so embarrassed about it anyway, and it's like hype train. It seems so bro-ish, but anyway, it's very sweet, guys. Okay, very appreciated. You guys are very sweet. Okay, we're gonna read now what Jean has to say. It's funny. Oh my God. Okay, thank you guys. I'm gonna keep thanking you because I feel now like I'm whatever. Thank you so much. I'm not gonna be self-conscious about it. Much appreciated. I don't know what this means for the channel or whatever. I just know that it's very sweet, and I appreciate you guys supporting each other, especially. Sela came over because I think she heard what was happening here. Sela came. Oh, look what it is. Oh, check it out. Sela, look what's happening here. This person has... Do you understand what a hype train is? We've reached 100% of this goal. I don't know what that is. You got an emote. Thanks. From I gotta find the pronunciation. I don't know it. Okay, level 2 completed. Sela. Okay, look. How do we? Okay, so just basic human language. I am I. Okay, you are Sela. So I wanted to understand this, but it's gonna take a while. Okay, do you understand that? Can you just say it back to me, Sela? Just go ahead. Just whisper it back to folks. Okay. She's working on it. I think she's going to understand. I think she understands the gist, maybe just not the details. It says as an okay, folks, I'm getting a message that there's a encoder error. So I want to make sure that let me know in the chat if you can still see me and hear me and all that stuff, because it's just let me know. Can you hear me? Can you see me right now? Let me know. Okay. Thank you, folks. Thank you. Okay, but do tell me if you can hear me or see me. Okay, yeah, we're good. Okay, great. Super appreciated. I've never done this. Is so sweet, you guys. This hype train thing is just pumping, and especially I just want to say thanks to who's the name I can't pronounce here. Who's very sweet. ACR. Oh, Julie. That's so sweet. You cheered. I think. People might have just cheers saved up from having commented so much over the time, but I'm not sure even how that works. Okay, so how do I say Plantinum, Acroplantium. It's probably just a really simple word that I'm just pronouncing wrong if somebody understands how to pronounce it. Acroplantium is totally pumping up this whole hype train thing, so it's very sweet of you. I just want to say it's very sweet. I feel very moved. You guys are very sweet, and I appreciate that very much. Okay, I'm going to keep reading the comments here. So this is what Jean says. I think it is interesting that everyone seems to have a similar voice, but I think it's just coincidence. Jean says,
at the beginning you said something along the lines of the challenge of the game is its utter simplicity. It reminded me of an analogy that came to me recently. Have you ever noticed that if you're going somewhere you've never been, it feels far and lengthy, but on the return trip it feels quick and you realize it was just pointer to be? At the end of meditations when I've been distracted, I have a hard time remembering what happened. I have to sort through all the places my mind tried to go.
Okay, well, it seems like two things there. One is the metaphor you're talking about is the often the second time you take a trip or the way back often just feels like, simple, whereas the first time we went, it feels like not so easy. That's one part. And then you said it's hard to detect what happened in the previous meditations. The key is to just, whatever you can detect, write it down, whatever it is. And it's just a skill. And your mind eventually will say, oh, okay, you want me to track this stuff. And I'll just do it for you. It'll be high effort at first, low effort at some point. Okay, great. Excellent. Hopefully that helps clarify. And then the other part where you said, oh yeah, A to B, exactly. That's. I think the mind gets really exhausted with new stuff. So it's that the first time you do it, it feels really exhausting. You'll notice this, right? The first time we had a lockdown, it felt like, oh my God, like, it's the end of the world. We're going to be locked down and in prison forever. And now it's like, oh, there might be another lockdown in the winter. It's like, that's a pain in the ass. I know what to do. It's like, because we know the route, it becomes much, much easier. Dippy Pickle says, hi, hello, welcome to the stream here. We have folks saying hello and welcoming you. Now we have another report here, or another comment here from Black Skulls Martin, also known as Denny. Denny says,
unrelated to this sit, but I was wondering if you had any practical mindfulness advice for dealing with cravings. Trying to stop using cannabis, as I can tell it's counterproductive for the mindfulness path.
Okay, super great. And also, I just want to mention, it's pretty vulnerable to be like, yeah, trying to stop using a substance. That's a big deal. You know what I mean? Just for people to even say that out loud is pretty powerful. So I just want to encourage you and give you a little bit of ups for that. Okay, I want to talk about this, but I also see a timer going down. I just want to ask people this question. I don't know how this works. Am I supposed to be hyping the hype train? Is this something I shouldn't be involved in, or I should be involved in? How does this work? Because I don't know if you see this on your screen. I see on my screen this big bar that's like, time is running out, 12 seconds, 11 seconds. I'm fine either way, but I'm just trying to figure out if I'm supposed to be saying or doing something of appreciation. The hype train succeeded. What does that mean? You received a level 2 share emote. Hitting share. I don't know what this is. I think folks can use this new emote now that we've reached level 2. 5 subs, 200. Wow, it's so lovely. Well, folks, man, what a lovely group we got here. Oh, that's very sweet. Okay, so folks, I want to so folks are getting new emotes, new images that you can use because we did a successful hype train. So you get something too. Not only do you get to see me blush, but you get all sorts of goodies here. Thank you so much, Black Skulls Martin, Denny, also known as Denny, Johnny Now for your gift, and Nick for your gift. Very kind. Arc. Oh my God, it's so easy. Arc Platinum. I don't know why it took me so long. It's a dyslexia. Arc Platinum for your giant 1600-bit gift. Julius for your 400-bit gift, and Nick for gifting 10. Always appreciated. Denny for 2, Johnny for 1, Nick. Oh, those are gift subscriptions. Thank you guys very much. Okay, now we'll go back to the serious stuff. Hopefully it wasn't too jarring. So let's go back here. I want to start my answer again. Related to this sit, mindfulness for reducing craving and cannabis. So, okay, I mentioned this to Johnny, but our habits and our difficulties live in the world of unconsciousness mostly. The big key is to bring it into consciousness. Now, what you just did is very brave, and you brought it into consciousness. You just brought this thing into the world by saying, hey, this is what's going on for me. This is a challenge. This is something that is not in alignment with the direction that I'm trying to go. The more that you can bring that into the light, the more that the unconscious part of it will just disappear. So maybe it's the case that you're okay with doing cannabis once a month, right? Maybe that's okay. Maybe for you, it's like 100% you want to be off of it, right? Whatever the thing is that's okay for you, you will get closer and closer to whatever that is. The more you talk about it, the more you share it with friends, but it's vulnerable, right? It's like, oh, I want to stop doing something that I am doing. It must be something wrong. The more you talk about it on stream, the more you write about it. Writing is very powerful. So doing journaling, like without judgment, like it's obviously working for part of you. So don't judge that part. If you can, and then to write about all the different aspects, what works about it, what doesn't work about it, why do you like doing it, why don't you like doing it. Sometimes we'll avoid doing the parts that like are working for us because we'll think, oh, if I talk about why cannabis works for me, then it will, reinforce that. But sometimes it's like it'll tell you, okay, I just want to relax maybe, or I just want to like feel more connected to people, or just whatever the thing is, and you'll realize, wait a minute, I could do that much more effectively by doing meditation or connecting with people or these other things that feel like they'd actually work better. And so by replacing the need to do it, it actually reduces, well, the need to do it. So that's a pretty central internal family systems version of that. I want to actually want to talk to Johnny now about this because he's doing CBT, and I want to enter in a little IFS, internal family systems logic into that, because it can feel a little restrictive, but it's also pretty powerful. So that's one thing. The other thing is to, as much as possible, meditate on the craving or the drive. And you're like, okay, before you do it, be conscious. What's your experience like? Not just the craving that's happening, like the urge to do it, but also what's everything else that's happening? What's the general mental state, the emotional state, these kind of things. And then slide forward and say, okay, what's, okay, now I'm using it. Maybe I want to, maybe I don't want to. Really, really take time and enjoy. What's the experience of using it? We're also afraid if we enjoy doing a thing we're trying to stop, we won't do it, or we won't stop. We'll keep doing the thing. But actually, really learning to appreciate the experience of it makes it easier to appreciate the experience before it happens and after it happens. So after you smoke the cannabis, how do you feel? Or what's the experience? What is it like? And then a minute later, what is it like? And effectively bringing a lot of mindfulness to the entire experience. Question for Raquel, way over here. Do you remember Judson Brewer's app's name? Okay. So if you search the scientist whose name is Judson Brewer, he is an addiction specialist who is also a mindfulness person. And he made an app that's basically to help people quit smoking, but I think you can use it for anything. And it basically goes through exactly some of the stuff I'm describing. So attending to your experience before, during, after, talking about it, externalizing it, writing about it, all of these things will be very good for not just making you stop, but making you move in a direction that'll be more important to you generally. Lots of welcomes here for folks who are joining us. Thank you so much for all the folks who join us here. Nate has a little report here and says,
I've found when I turn my attention to the mental audio, I make it happen a lot more than when I do not place attention on it. Turning I wish you peace on during mental audio attention was very, very powerful.
Excellent. Well, I'm glad that had a little power juice for you. So it is true. Attending to mental audio, when you hang out with it, sometimes it can make it increase, sometimes it can make it decrease. It doesn't matter if it has an effect. The key is to notice what is happening at this given point, whatever it is. There is an effect, there's not an effect. Doesn't matter if it's affecting something. This is a little bit related to what Denny said before about control or intention or this kind of thing. It's like, don't worry if there's an intention or there's some degree of control. You can let that go over time, but right now just attend to the sensations themselves. So that's key. Then you also said that when you turned the phrase, may you be peaceful, while we are listening to mental audio, I wanted to help people see that anytime we use like a phrase or a nurture positive thing, when we say like, may you be peaceful, or we say like, I love you, or any of these things, we're using the same part of the mind. We're just activating it. So first we were watching it, then we started activating it. And both are valid parts of the path. Both are very important there. Excellent, excellent. Okay, lots of gifts. I'm now scrolling through all the gifts that people gave. Very kind. People saying thank you. Well, I say thank you. Thank you, everybody. That felt so good. I was like high with people's kindness. That was very sweet. I was like, oh, it was like very sweet. Thank you, folks. What's the little hand gesture you do after meditation? I don't know. What hand gesture did I do? Did I do a hand gesture? I don't know. You'll have to go back. You have to go back and watch the video. If you tell me, I can't. It's hard because I can't watch the video back while I'm streaming it. But if you Oh, do you know what you can do? I'm sorry, guys. I'm like learning about Twitch as we go. You can clip the video, so you can go back to certain points and hit clip, and it'll save 60 seconds. And I think you can edit it, and then you can be like, here's a part of the video that I really liked. That's actually really helpful for the channel, by the way. If you don't want to give or whatever, if you're like, that sentence was really good, clip it, and then it gets saved in our archive, and people then go back and they're more likely to watch our clips than a whole stream. So they watch a few clips and like, well, that was very profound, Mr. Beardless, shaved face, bald man. Excellent, good times. And you can also clip things that are embarrassing that I say, and you can, make fun of me and stuff. That's always fun. People are talking about the hype train. Good times. Thanks for hyping it up. Super fun. I mean, I guess it is pretty fun. It was pretty fun. It was pretty exciting for me. All those people gifting each other subs and all that stuff. That was very sweet. That was probably the best, the coolest feeling, emotional feeling I've ever had doing the stream that was produced by the stream, other than just like feeling good and, feeling connected to you guys and feeling like I can help you and, that kind of thing. I guess that's due to the stream, but of the mechanics of this thing, it's very sweet. And just know that, like, I think, we do get donations, we do get support here, but it's not like I'm like here to get moolah. That's not really, I don't think that would work very well. It's not a very good business plan. Discipline off of 1. By the way, just so you know, your Twitter link in the description is not working. Damn it! Twitter link in the description. We don't even use Twitter. We just have to get rid of it. No, it's fine. You don't have to do anything. Exactly. See, I missed a lot of the comments during the hype train. Okay, so this is like our second round of the hype train. Sela, okay, I think you've had some time to think about what we've talked about the hype train. Okay, have you please repeat back what you've learned? I can feel your heart beating. I know you're nervous. The test is on. You've got a whole audience watching. Are you nervous right now because you have all these people watching you? Is that why you're quiet? Okay, I understand. Good girl. Good girl. Okay. I think she wants the doggy cam on. That's what she's asking for here. Okay, let's see here. I just want to double check something. If my schedule's wrong and I'm like missing a thing, I'll be in trouble, but I don't think that's true. Let's just take a look. Oops. Oh, nope. There we go. Okay, checking my schedule. Sorry, guys. Thank you for waiting. Okay, I'm going to have to jump off in a little bit. Super fun stream, by the way. Really fun for me. Scrolling back through. Where are we? We're on the internet, and we're on a stream. We're doing a stream. Mental note. Don't get attached to the hype train. Exactly. Don't believe the hype train. Just note as it falls away. So this is our second hype train. We're not going through what happened historically, so we get the second little burst. There really is no train. It's just the wheels and the engine, the hub and spoke, all the parts. I appreciate that you guys were chatting with each other about that during that. It's like one hand pray. It's like a one hand pray. Exactly. That's what I have to do at the end of the stream, because usually I would do this. But I'm doing two things with my hand. That's actually also traditionally accepted. Gene says, yeah. You put your hand, oh, that's what it is. Okay. The one hand, that's what you're talking about. I thought you were saying it's like a metaphor. The hype train is like a one hand pray. Okay, great. So Exalted, this is what I would do. So traditionally in, what is it called? Southeast Asian Buddhism, there's various forms of doing this, but basically a person bows. And so the really traditional way, as far as I know, to do it, and I think it's very nuanced and different depending on which monastery, this kind of thing, is you actually put your hands, it's kind of like a cup together, and I don't even know if it touches your forehead. It comes close, and I think that it's often like, it's like this, and the hand, you go down, and then you do 3 prostrations on the ground, and often people will go like as if this were the ground, they'll go like down. How does it go? Here, there's like 3 things, and you'll touch your head to the ground. So you go dupe. Oh, that's what it is. It's like head, heart, head to the ground. So you go like, you bow down and you put, you do like this. You do one at the heart, and then you touch your head to the ground, and you go doop, boop, boop, and then those three. That's like a very traditional way of doing it. And then there's like a bunch of variations all the way down to what I did, which is just like go like that. And so it's like the same thing. It's like a miniature version. It's like a high five. Thank you for asking about that. I've wondered, we've been doing the stream for almost 2 years at this point, or maybe a year and a half or something, and no one has ever asked. There's all these little things that I do and have as part of the meditation and have as part of things that I'm always like, I wonder when someone's going to ask about that. So you, my friend, are the first person to ever ask what that was about, what it is that I did. Which is, if you know, in a traditional sense, often you'll see people at the end of the meditation do this. They'll sort of do like a prayer hands and bow. It's not like a Christian thing. It's just literally, it's like respect, it's honor, but it's actually not honor to me. It's honor to the path of awakening. Maybe you could say it's to the Buddha, but the Buddha is just a stand-in for the path of, you know, awakening and discovery and that kind of thing. So there you go. That is the general breakdown there. Okay, folks, so without any further questions, comments, interest, opportunities, discussion points, various knickknacks, news items, sundry pieces, select things. Without any of those, we will transition now. I thought it'd be nice. I mean, it's actually funny that they're, okay, so what we're going to do now, let me just check really quick, because I want to check if we're going to raid someone. I want to make sure that they're like if they're like actually there. Okay, so just for fun, what we're going to do is we're going to raid our friend Johnny here, raid right back. Creators dashboard. Okay, we're gonna say hi to our friend Johnny, but before we do, there's a tradition. Whenever we raid someone, we miss our traditional ending here. So before we do that, I want to. Does it start? Okay, I'm gonna wait a second. So is a wish for you. This is what we usually miss when we raid someone. So my wish for you is that in this particular moment, to tune into the way the mind is talking, whether it's quiet or loud. As I say that, all of a sudden it makes me listen. So suddenly I want to be very quiet. So listening, is the mind chattering or not? Either way, just noticing it, noticing the general experience of the mind. You can follow this all throughout the day if you'd like, but the key is to follow it right now. And you can also activate that part of the mind and say a phrase like, may you be peaceful, may you be peaceful, knowing that that phrase can be directed anywhere you like. So folks, great to see you. As always, have fun, take care of each other, practice well, and we will see you in fewer than 48 hours. In other words, very, very soon. We will now jump over and start a raid on Johnny's channel. Did it work? Are we just alive and I'm like... It's possible.
Inside. Just like, 4K, this is... You basically see her fucking kidneys. And still, like, I'll tell you, way too young to see that stuff. I'll never forget. I still remember being like... Because before you're like, boobs, butt, okay, this is nice,
Why
there's a shoulder.
have I been hearing about your PP for the past days?
And it was just like... You know what? I'm shocked I didn't like swear off women from that moment on, because like you could see. Thank you, deep mindfulness. God, I hope you weren't listening to that story. You real, dude. You real. Can we get a booyah in the chat? I was talking about growing up in front of a abandoned building. We found.
Thank you so much. A deep mindfulness.
Thank you, dude. That was amazing. Push the Skyway is a fan forever. Shaken Out says your voice soothes.
So you did a sum.
Even who else was listening? Someone. There was a lot of people listening. They had a good time. So, listen, the coolest and most nostalgic and beautiful word in my vocabulary. And sorry to the babes.
Legit, we have heard about your PP for the last days.
Well, I'm trying to stop that, but I'm telling you, the coolest word
I
in
think
my
we maybe
vocabulary
didn't
that brings
successfully
so much,
raid.
and I'm so thankful to the Lord Jesus Christ and everyone else who, Allah and Moses and Yahweh. Boyhood.
Oh, we didn't
The
raid.
word
Sorry, guys.
boyhood
Here we
to
go.
me brings so much joy. I feel, you know what? I feel bad because I don't know what girls did. They're always in their circle planning something, giving each other eating disorders, bullying. we were just so blessed, like to be run. I think I might be the last generation, but because now everyone's on computers. It used to be you went outside, you hid from teenagers, you beat up other kids that were smaller than you, you threw stuff at cars, you looked at pornos, you were scared all the time, you're always lighting things on fire.
Getting told off for wearing tank tops.
Getting told, yeah, like, or like, oh my god, like hucking ice balls at cars.
My bad fam, you still with
and
Claire.
having, oh no, it's okay. Claire, I don't think Claire likes me anymore, but or having like grown-ups like grab you and be like, what the fuck did you do to my car? Like, just boyhood. I feel bad. I think there's a mystery around girlhood, but it's a lot more.
Did you mess up poor Claire? LMAO, what the hell happened Saturday night? I missed it.
Oh, you missed it? Well,
I
here
got
you'll have
chased
to.
by British soldiers.
It's too
that
long.
was so much fun.
You got
Shame.